Big guy here. Today, I'm going to talk about the 3-date rule. What's the 3-date rule, big guy? 3-date rule is basically if you're dating a chick and she don't put out in 3 dates, you kick her to the curb. Now, personally, I view that as more of a general guideline. But in my experience, I mean, if you're not getting hot and heavy about a 3rd date, she has a friends of benefits on the side and she's just using you as a backup plan. So generally speaking, if I take a chick out on 3 dates and the 3rd date, she's not really making out with me, we're not getting real physical, certainly, like, no touchy-feelies, no, indications that the 4th or 5th dates lead to sex, I cut her off. I don't so much, get mad at her and be like, I'm never talking to you again. I just stop putting forth any effort. And I do that because, a few months might roll by, she might hit you up again, and things will change. But it's been my experience that women, especially women that, college age and older, the older ones especially, oh Jesus Christ, and once she, mid-20s up to 40s, like, those women, been around the block a few times. If they ain't putting out by the 3rd date, they definitely have some other guy they're hooking up with, and you're the backup plan. And women don't want to admit it, but a lot of times when they have the little friends of benefits, they're secretly in love with their friends of benefits, hoping that he'll come around or whatever reasons. Most of the time, the guy's either could be married, he could be, unavailable in that sense, but or he could just be like a bad prospect as a relationship partner, like, someone she get judged severely for dating, or have shit social standing, or like jobless. There's many reasons why she either A, doesn't want the guy to be relationship material and is hiding him for, or B, the guy's, just digging her down and not giving his commitment to her, keeping on, and she wants his commitment, but he can't give it to her. He might be married, he might just not want it. There's a lot of guys out there like that, man, because once you get to a certain point in life, it's a very easy thing to get into. So in my experience, these women will happily let guys take them out to dinner. They'll take them out on these, all these dates and stuff, but they won't put out for those guys because they're secretly in love with their friends of benefits. And they will let you take them out on dates all day long, all the time, every day of the week. They'll have dinner with you, they'll go to movies with you, go to concerts with you, and they'll keep, kind of egging you on. I'm just not ready yet, not yet, I want to take it slow, All the while, she has her man on the side, like as soon as you drop her off, she's going over to his house. I've seen it happen. I've been the guy. I've been on both sides of the coin. It's a real thing. So it's more of the 3-date rule is more of a guideline to protect yourself from wasting a bunch of time and resources on a chick that's just using you when she's emotionally and physically attached to this other guy. There are some exceptions to the rule. If a chick's inexperienced with dating, like she's only been with one guy, it's going to take a little longer 3 dates. If she's very religious, it's going to take a little longer 3 dates. And generally, you can kind of tell these things once you get a bit more experience, but don't be fooled by a woman has been with a few guys, or isn't really that religious. If you're looking for a good conservative woman, don't let a reformed whore fool you. They're good at that stuff. They're very good at it, and they'll do that by putting off getting intimate with you for as long as they can, for months. And it's just, no, don't do that, buddy. It's kind of a red flag in itself. So yeah, I'm currently not available, but if I was dating and a chick doesn't, get hot and heavy with me by the 3rd date, I start pushing her to the side and focus my attention on others. And it's been my experience that's worked out pretty well in my favor. And being the small town that I am, generally I keep tabs on women I date and vice versa. And come to find out, a lot of times, they had another guy in the shadows, and they were just, I don't want to say dicking me around, but like they were using me as validation to, oh, hey, I can still get dates from these guys. So when she finally gives up on her friends with benefits, she can fall back on you. And as a man, don't be anyone's second choice. Don't be anyone's backup plan. Because on down the road, she's going to lose respect for you. It goes to a dead bedroom situation. It's not a good thing. And I've been in this situation many times where I was just, friends with benefits with the chick pretty much. And they would try to use the other guys, guys they had no intention of ever loving. Hey, so-and-so's taking me out on the date tonight. Okay, cool, go have fun. 11 o'clock rolls around and get a knock on my door. And like, how'd your date go? And next thing you know, we're in the bed together. It's just, I've seen both sides of the flip point. I've been on the other side too, where I've been out with a chick, dated her for a little bit, and come to find out, she was, screwing around with a married guy. And I was just there taking her out. Men aren't really taught how to date because, let's face it, a lot of guys are raised by women in society. They really are. There's not much men to show stuff. And it's a very womanly thing to say, just be yourself, just let it naturally happen. In fact, the matter is, it's easy for a woman to say because all a woman's got to do is show up. It's up to a man to plan this stuff. And if you're wasting a lot of time and resources on this chick, who, by the way, loves to extract stuff from men, they'll happily do that all day, every day. The 3-date rule is really just kind of a guideline to protect yourself. What was the other thing I was going to say? I had this thought running through my mind as I'm going on this rant about something, and it kind of goes away. It's like, man, I need to say that. It's important. And then nothing. What the Hades do? Oh, yeah. Also, if you're not putting yourself in a position to get laid in those 3 dates, that's another thing too. Don't like date 1, take her out to dinner. Date 2, take her out to the movie. Date 3, take her to the zoo. How are you going to get hot and heavy with that chick? At that point, she's probably just going to friend zone you and say, something like, he's just too nice. I just don't feel it. So, big guy dating. First date, I try to feel him out a little bit. I made the mistake of bringing them back to my house for the first time. Don't quite do that because you don't know how crazy these chicks are these days. This is not a good idea. So you want to at least filter them out, vet them a little bit. Find out what they're about if they're, freaking psycho. You don't want a psycho chick showing up on your door first thing. So my first date's usually meeting like a public place, like a coffee shop or a park. That's the way I started. And I just, walk around, get to know them, hold their hand, try to escalate from there. But nowadays, I'll meet up for margaritas, but I don't just... Dinner dates, no. I don't like spending serious money on a chick until, we find out we're sexually compatible. That's a phrase they like. That's what I tell them, too. It's like, hey, let's go to this park and walk around. And if a woman's like, no, I want to do dinner first. I tell them, look, I'm trying to find out if we're sexually compatible first. There's no point in us, going through an awkward dinner if we're not. And if we are, cool, then, we can do that later. But until then, I don't spend serious money on a chick until I'm sleeping with her. I tell them that, too. I'm straight up with them. And the second date will be more along the lines of the first date, just different location or something. But usually on the second or third date, I try to invite them to my house and cook them dinner, watch a movie. Because if you don't put yourself in a position to escalate things sexually, it's not going to happen. And the point of relationship of dating is to have sex. Because otherwise it's a friendship. So don't, think you're being too forward by saying, hey, I'm cooking dinner, come over. Because believe it or not, she's looking for the same thing too. That's why she's dating. She's dating to find a guy to hook up with. Exclusively hook up, that's between y'all to figure out. But that's the whole point of dating relationships is romance. So the 3-date rule also applies if you're putting yourself in a position to get hot and heavy. Man, it's kind of hard to, make out in a coffee shop and fill each other up, right? But, you cook them dinner at home, you're already in an intimate environment, it's a little bit easier to, start making out, getting hot and heavy, and you're cuddled up on the couch watching TV. Just saying. You got to be a little smart about it. You got to put a little bit of effort in planning. You got to, there's got to be a reason for it. But back to the point. If within 3 dates you're not making out, you're not getting hot and heavy, and she's not really religious, she's not conservative, has a conservative history, Jesus Christ, especially if she has a kid. If she has a kid and she ain't putting out by the third date, I mean, I ain't saying single moms are easy. I'm just saying they've been around the block before. If she's, not putting out pretty quick or getting hot and heavy pretty quick, she's jerking you around, man. So, yeah, that's you gotta watch out for that. But if she's not young, inexperienced, very conservative, things aren't getting pretty hot and heavy by the third date, moving to a point where things are going to get really intimate really soon, if not by the third date, by the fourth or fifth date, then yeah, buddy, cut her loose, go find another. Don't get mad about it. Just, keep her on the back burner. She might pop up down the road. Whatever she's dealing with, whatever mental block she has might go away. She might come back in a month, few years. I never, cuss them out like, screw you, we ain't, this by the third day, ain't putting out, go to hell. No, I ain't doing that stuff. Be like, slow fade, just ghost her. That's the term, ghost her. Just stop talking to her, text her, stop putting effort into it. And if she wants to hang out and you're not sure about things, invite her over for a movie, cuddle, and see what happens. Just stop putting forth any effort in her. I mean, stop taking her out, stop doing this stuff. I mean, see where she's at. But that's my general guideline. Oh, that's another thing. I got a little nose itch. Sometimes, if a woman thinks you're, as a man, that you are a player, that you're really good with women, right? God, I hate that term, player. I mean, I'm not dating women to sleep around with every one of them. I can, I've been there. It's just, it's not my style. But at the same time, I'm pretty experienced women, and some women get that I'm a player vibe. Oh my God, and you guy that has any shred of confidence as a player. Really, come on. But anyways, that's where we're at in society today. And I've seen some women that will deliberately hold out on a guy that she thinks is really experienced with women as a form of a test. I don't know, so she doesn't feel like she's easy or something. So sometimes, even though things are getting kind of hot and heavy, heavy makeouts and stuff, it takes a little longer than 3 days. It might take 4, 5, or 6 days. But at the same time, you still can feel her out. You can feel her intentions. But if you're not making out heavy by the third date, you're not, getting some foreplay going on, something definitely filling each other up, I mean, cut her loose and go find someone who's more into you. Because otherwise, she's just wasting your time. And there's a good chance she has a friends with benefits and you're just there, as a placeholder. Anyways, I'll just keep going on ranting and ranting. I'm trying to keep these things short. Oh, that's big guy advice from the third date rule. Big guy out.